What's up guys, today we're out on the beautiful Caribbean Sea and we're going to be putting the iPhone 13 Pro Max with ProRes up against the Sony FX3. Now before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that there are chapter markers below indicating different sections of the video today. With that being said, let's go get our B-roll. Alright guys, so we made it back to America, had a lot of fun on the cruise. It was our 2-year anniversary and we really did enjoy spending that time together for that celebration. So jumping right into Davinci Resolve, we have our clips on the timeline. We have 4 different clips. I do want to let you guys know that I did shoot the Sony clips in S-Log3, so they are flat. It's going to need quite a bit of color correcting and adjustments and all those things. However, because I did shoot the video in ProRes from the iPhone, it already has a ton of color, but I did release a preset pack for ProRes iPhone video. We'll be testing that out in this video as well on all of these different clips. And to show you guys, I am editing in a 4K timeline at 30 frames per second. So I'm gonna disable track 2 so that we can just play the Sony footage back first. And right up here, you'll be able to see the frame rate at which we're playing back. So I'm gonna hit the space bar to play. And so far we're getting pretty smooth playback, no issues at all. And let's play back the iPhone footage to see if it plays back just as smoothly. So far on that first clip, I'm not getting any drop frames. So now I'm on the second clip, still not getting any drop frames. And now I'm gonna move to the third clip. The iPhone footage plays back very smoothly. The Sony footage plays back very smoothly. Now that's without any effects or anything. So now the next thing is seeing how good this stuff can handle, color corrections and basic editing that you would do on a video like this. Now we're just gonna go back over to the timeline and we're gonna play it back. And again, right up here, you can see the frames per second, and let's see if it plays back smooth. So now you can see that with the color corrections, we're now getting some dropped frames up here with the Sony footage. So I'm just gonna play that back one more time on the next clip and see if it still drops frames. And yep, I'm still dropping quite a few frames. Just with, those aren't really heavy color grading corrections at all. I think it's just kind of basic coloring. And so with the Sony footage, still getting issues. So let's mute track 1, let's go over to track 2, and let's color grade this guy. So again, like I said, I do have a preset pack of iPhone LUTs. I have a clean version, teal and brown. I have a teal and orange for low light, so that's not gonna work well on any of these clips. Then I have a teal and orange washed look. So for this video, to give a pretty fair comparison, I'm just gonna go with the clean. So I'm just gonna throw that on here, onto my node. Then I'm just gonna bring down the highlights because it is, quite bright out there. And let's play these guys back and see what we get. And surprisingly, we still have a very jittery, screen. So what I'm gonna do is actually drop the quality of my timeline to 1080p because 4K just seems to be a little bit too much. So we're dropping down to 1080p. I'm gonna hit save. And now let's go back to the Sony footage and let's see what that looks like with the track 2 disabled, which is the iPhone footage, and play that back. All right, and then 1080p, no issues at all with the Sony footage. And now let's disable that and try the iPhone footage. And again, no issues at all with the iPhone footage. Let's push this just a little bit more. Let's change the color of the blue in the image, which is gonna add another node, which should kind of bog down the computer. All right guys, and so we've kind of done a little bit more to the image, manipulated the blues, played with the oranges. It is falling apart right here. However, I didn't really take my time, but this should make the playback speed stutter, you know, because this is kind of more heavy color grading. So let's go back over here and see, and this is with the iPhone footage. Surprisingly, still very smooth playback with 1080p. I want to take it a step further. I really want to see how far you can push this iPhone footage. So without doubt, every single time I add these two next adjustments, the video cannot play back at all. So what I'm going to do is go over here into my blur radius and pull this down to 45. Basically, this is gonna add in some sharpening into the video. And then I'm gonna go over here to my motion effects, and I am gonna add in some noise reduction. This always makes the computer kinda have a difficult time playing back the footage. So let's see how this does under this pressure. All right guys, so if this plays back, I will be very, very surprised because I've never edited any videos on this computer with these two adjustments with my Sony footage, and it was able to play back. So let's see. And just like I thought, not able to play back at all. So that's kind of, you know, the limit for how far you can push it. So what I'm gonna do is copy over the node with the color manipulation from the iPhone footage that I just did. And I'm just gonna simply paste that on the Sony footage so that you guys can get an even comparison to see exactly what I mean. So creating a new node, and I pasted that guy right on here. Surprisingly, it even plays back with the Sony footage, which is, like, that's crazy to me that the iPhone can compete with the FX3 as far as color grading, color corrections, and things like that. Now, as far as image quality goes, let's kind of flip back and forth between these guys. So here's the iPhone clip, here's the Sony clip, iPhone, Sony. The highlights on the iPhone clip is, they're peaking, they're not looking the best that they could look. So I will say that whenever you're shooting with the iPhone, you definitely have to be very mindful of your highlights, because even with this clip, my exposure was right in the middle. I was not clipping out at all whenever shooting in the Filmic Pro app, but whenever I put this guy into my editing software, which is Davinci Resolve, and I'm also editing in the Davinci Color Manage profile on here, you get a lot of clipping, and so you do have to be very, very courteous of that when filming. However, with Sony footage, I mean, I didn't really push this footage very far at all, but you can do a lot more with the Sony footage than you can with the iPhone footage before it just falls apart. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I do have those LUTs below. They're only 10 bucks, so you can get 4 of these LUTs for 10 bucks. Go ahead, check those out in the description below. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.